Witam Państwa w specjalnym wydaniu programu w telewizji Wpunkt. Jesteśmy dzisiaj w Parlamencie Europejskim, a moim gościem jest Udo Bullmann, europoseł w frakcji SND, pochodzący z partii SPD w Niemczech. Wywiad będzie w języku angielskim, więc chciałem zrobić takie wprowadzenie w języku polskim. Hello, Udo.
Hello, Michael.
We're going to talk about Germany's sanction and Germany's role in this whole situation right now in the world. Some political commentators refer to these current changes in German politics as Copernican revolution. Do you consider it as revolutionary or not really?
Well, this is, of course, a big headline. Let me explain where we come from.
Yeah, sure.
Because in the DNA of the German politics, foreign politics, especially of social democrats, is that we have to have good neighborhood with everybody. And the lessons we learned from Willy Brandt in the last century and the way in which we overcame the Cold War, which finally led also to the enlargement of the European Union, and that we are together now also with our Polish friends in a free world, is that we start off in understanding the security interest, the legitimized security interest of our neighbors. So this is always the starting point. Very reason why SPD, Social Democrats from Germany, normally tend to negotiate. I think that is reasonable. I think that is due to our tradition and to our role as a peace-building party, as a peace-building government, is the correct positioning in the international relations. But, and now the big but, in a situation as such as we have seen with Putin's brutal aggression, you have to switch. You have to change the page, and you have to realize that negotiations in the spirit of best neighborhood will not bring you anywhere, and that our friends in the Ukraine deserve that we help them to defend themselves, because they are standing for their right of liberty, for their right of self-determination, but also for the rest of the free world.
Do you think that Olaf Scholz's decision right now will change also the perspective of other parties, not only SPD, because the current government is not only formed by SPD, but also FPD and the Greens? Do you think the change will be seen in other parties as well?
I see there is a huge unity in the coalition government. The Greens are very realistic about the situation of human rights in Russia. They know that if we do not stand up now, if we do not show a drastic reaction now, then we leave our friends in Eastern Europe alone, and this is not what we would intend to do, and the Liberals more or less the same. I was negotiating the coalition contract with Liberals and Greens on behalf of the SPD in the European policy area, and I can confirm that there is a huge unity also on European defense and on European security and foreign policy.
And how about the future? Because we know that sometimes governments change. And how about CDU and Linke and AfD? I know that these two last parties are not really that anti-Putin right now, and they don't really follow the Scholz line. Do you think their perspective will also change?
Well, for me, it's difficult, and I refuse to count the AfD into the democratic spectrum, because they are reactionary ultras also hoping for renationalization in a way which is supported by Putin. So I do not expect anything from them. The Linke is in a process of internal discussion, because here you have progressive people. They would never give up civic rights. They would never give up the right to self-determine of a country where to go to. But you have also traditionalists who feel themselves so close to Putin that for them it's very, very difficult to say goodbye to their firm beliefs of yesterday. For instance, Sarah Wagenknecht has only recently, before Putin sent his army to the Ukraine, under this concrete danger, she was keeping on saying he does not have any interest in an intervention, which is brutally wrong and has shown to be brutally wrong. So they have to clarify amongst themselves. But there is a widespread support in the German population for the policy of Olaf Scholz, for the policy of the new coalition government. And I think also that is giving a lesson to Putin, because I think Putin has not thought about a firm reaction from Berlin like that. He was not used to that.
That's why people refer to it as Copernican revolution.
Merkel was not ready to doing the same. So now we are a steady force, a strong force of Europe, and a strong force in the defense of our partners in Eastern Europe and in Central Europe. That was a surprise to him. And I think it was a positive surprise also to many Western friends from Brussels to Washington.
Yeah, I would like to ask you about the energetic security of Germany after the decision of blocking the further extension of Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2. Do you think it will change anything in how Germans see nuclear energy, renewable energy, and so on? Do you think that gas will...
Well, we decided in Germany a way ago already that we would enhance the process of transformation towards the renewables. So our goal is, as soon as possible, to only go forward with renewable energies. And we already had firm dates to phase out coal and nuclear as soon as possible. Nuclear for us is a no-go because we think it's the most possible danger that you can bring in to your country. Think of Chernobyl and other places where we had these explosions. And by the way, it's the most costly. If you count in all the costs, finally, it's the most costly way of producing energy. So we are ready for the renewables, and we'll do our utmost to build them up as soon as this is feasible. We already knew that the option for gas only could be a transitionary measure to overcome the next years. And unfortunately, it's a matter of fact that more than 50% of natural gas is in Germany imported from Russia. Yeah. So that puts question
that's my next question.
Given situation.
Because how will European Union react to it? Because yesterday Joe Biden said that USA will totally block all import of gas from Russia. Is it possible in the European Union as well?
Well, it's relatively easy for the US to say that because they only rely on some 8%. Whereas we have more than 40% in the European Union, more than 50% in Germany. Ursula von der Leyen announced a policy which I think is right, that we will drastically reduce our imports from Russia by 2/3. That is the concrete program. And Germany will do the same and will try to get down with their numbers as soon as this is technically feasible. We are building 2 new points for liquid gas in the north of Germany, in Brunsbüttel and in Wilhelmshaven. These new gas terminals should be ready to help us to get more independence. But again and again, gas is not the answer over time. We will invest a whole lot of money in housing, in renewable energies, so that we can spearhead from Germany the ecological transformation, if you want to see it like that, a huge contribution to sustainable economic and environmental development.
I would like to ask you about the future of the sanction implemented on Russia. Do you think European Union can do anything else, or anything? Can European Union react stronger than it has reacted already?
Well, we listen to our friends from the Ukraine. I fully understand what they are telling us. Their people are dying, the children are dying, the families are threatened. So we have millions of refugees, meanwhile, internal displacements, as well as people crossing the borders, especially to Poland. And thanks to our Polish friends, that they are real friends in a situation like that. And we try to do the same in Germany and in other countries. And we also have to support the Polish society in organizing the capacity, as we do in Germany.
So
there is a very critical question which the Western countries so far have denied. That is to become part of this military conflict. And that is the very critical question, because what we did so far is to provide anti-tank weapons. We provided also for measures like howitzers from the old GDR stocks in Germany. Surface-to-air missiles were sent, which are defense weapons. But once you start to shoot the Russian army directly, their airplanes, you are part of this war. And what the Western partners so far shied away from is to get it out of hand in a way that the whole world is facing a third world war. So that is the internal benchmark, so to speak. What can be done without going across this line should be done.
Thank you very much, Udo. My guest and your guest was Udo Bullmann from SPD, German member of the European Parliament and former leader of Socialists and Democrats. Thank you very much.
I thank you, Michael.